What is the most NSFW thing you have witnessed at a party? Halloween night. After drunken truth or dare. I walked in on my so's brother and cousin going to town on each other. Edit. Neither of them were involved in the drinking. Dude ran to the bathroom. Yelled I got a sh*t. Then pulled his pants down. Sat his ass on the toilet. And puked on the floor in front of him. Realizing his mistake. He stood up. Faced the toilets to puke. And shat on the floor behind him. Walked in on my best friend's little sister sucking two guys' dicks at one time. I quietly exited and never spoke a word lol. A while back I was too young to be at a party and this girl ran out of one of the kitchen buck naked started twerking on the wall. Her boyfriend rushed into the room, literally picked up his GF and started to carry her to his car. The whole time they were walking to the car she kept yelling about how she couldn't wait for the dick tonight. I was 14 visiting my 19 years old cousin. Our CEO had a Super Bowl party at his new giant house for all of the company employees. There was probably 30-40 people there. As the night goes on, everyone is pretty drunk and he's that type of guy who loves to party and is handing out shots all night. Then one of the new guys we just hired can't hold it anymore and pukes on the back patio. Crowd freaks out and the CEO walks up and tells him if he will eat it off the ground, he will pay him $100. Puking guy looks at his disappointing look on his wife's and then turns and says he'll do it for $1,000. CEO busts out $1,000 cash. I guess he just walks around with it. A spoon appears out of nowhere and he proceeded to eat it off the ground. Crowd freaks out. CEO tells him he would have paid him $10. 000. Worst part is, Monday morning the CEO fired him saying we can't work with people that would do something like that. WTF. At a party a couple of years ago I witnessed a grown-ass adult who was currently attending university drop a turd in a plant pot in the host's living room. He was just in the corner squatting over a plant pot thinking nobody would notice. A cast party for the theater department at my university lead to an orgy. 4 guys 5 girls. That's a good ratio. Final year of high school. At a party where everyone was really wasted. Like a stupid drunk you got before you understood limits. One girl couldn't handle it anymore. So she pulled her jeans down and started masturbating on the couch in front of everyone. Was dark and I don't know if everyone really noticed. Wasn't like those videos where everyone stands around cheering, but then the dad who owned the place walked in and it got kind of awkward. Good party. Went to a topless party in college. As in a party where guys and girls were shirtless. After doing a jello shot off of a stranger's boobs, I told my friends a few doors down about the party. They arrived just as most of the girls went into a back room to get high. And a big bearded man decided to show off his Jacob's ladder by making it a bottomless party. My friends didn't trust me for a while after that. Partying in the barracks. My room had all the beer in the fridge. I was going down on this girl when I felt a hand on my left shoulder. Briefly paused to look up. When my buddy says "Kikestant, you're doing a great job." I just needed to grab a beer. I went right back to what I was doing. I once saw a guy sh*t his pants and then chuck them out the window. I once saw a guy sh*t his pants and just leave them on. Everyone knows you sh*t your pants, dude. Take some kind of action. Had an outside party at an old house of mine where a rando passed out on his side in the middle of the driveway. The 8 or so friends he'd come with all let him sleep and the party continued around him. Eventually someone yells my name and points at the passed out fella who's managed to get his dick out and start peeing while still on his side. At this point everyone outside has stopped what they were doing to gasp at this turn of events. After a while he begins to slowly lean backwards and the arc of piss gradually goes higher and higher into the air. Finally he makes it all the way onto his back and the angle of his pecker is just right so that the remaining piss hits him right between the eyes. Half the party was disgusted and unimpressed. But the rest had plenty to bond over for the rest of the night. TL. Dr. Passed out dude pisses on his own face in front of an audience. Edit everyone asking if this was in their city is hilarious. All are f-ked up. At a party in a huge house on the lake that had a second living room upstairs. Walking up the stairs I can hear all this commotion going on. As I enter the room there is this guy smashing a chick on the couch. Doggy style. Right there in front of everyone. He was getting high fives from other guys and people were just standing around watching and cheering. Well, a few years later, I get married and at Thanksgiving dinner with my in-laws when my brother-in-law brings his new girlfriend to meet the family. You guessed it. It was her. Same girl that was getting smashed on the couch. Well, he ended up getting married to this girl and now every time I see them at a family get together all I can see is the image from that night at the lake. Some dude passed out in the corner of this apartment party and there was a dude crouched over him trying his hardest to sh-tee on his head. He couldn't do it so nothing happened, but I wondered if I should have told the passed out guy what he tried to do. But then again, if someone tried to sh-tee on my head when I was passed out I wouldn't want to know about it. I've been to a couple of parties where a few people decided it would be a good idea to throw decorum to the wind and start f-king in the backyard. Most of us gathered round to watch. But on one occasion, a few others joined in. Dothraki wedding? Walked in on a girl taking a dump on a guy. Friend hired a prostitute for his day party and she proceeded to bang any guy who wanted it. None of them even knew. They all thought she was some chick who was visiting from Georgia. Some chick was having a house party while her parents were out of town and she was in her teens. Invited like half the school. She was a typical stuck-up bitch that didn't really have real friends, just a bunch of fake ones. Anyways, this one guy is having a good time being reasonable and she doesn't like him, so she has a bunch of people just starting to treat him like shitty. He then gets told to leave and he's like, I gotta use the bathroom first. And there is currently all bathrooms occupied, so she tells him to leave, he can't use the washroom. The dude then said, oh there's a urinal here, and proceeds to punch a hole in the wall and pisses in it. Edit. Added a few words. Walked in on the host's parents going at it. A woman with no pants on running out of my friend's bedroom shouting too much dick. Edit. Since this popped up multiple times. No, this wasn't Podrick. And since I've heard that several times now, can someone please tell me who that is? Thank you. Also, no, he only had one dick. I have seen it. He was not exactly shy about it. To quote one of our favorite stories about having gone to his cabin for a summer. We came downstairs to find him wearing nothing but a pillow and a smile. The pillow was under his head. Achievement unlocked. I was at a Halloween party in the last year of high school, where two friends of mine had a threesome with a girl in the bathtub while one other girl watched. Best 37 seconds of his life. Hot. Seen two blokes trying to get a girl into bed, not at the same time. The one who actually did came back after and threw the used condom in the other bloke's face and says, smell what you could have won. Goddamn ruthless. Happened at my house. Girl came over. Got way I too drunk, took off all her clothes and started masturbating on my stairs and then on the couch and then back on my stairs. Then she fell down said stairs. We tried putting her to bed before all this went though. But she kept coming back out. Each time with less and less clothes on. Eventually we all just kinda ignored her and let her do her thing. Edit. I just wrote this out if order. We tried putting her to bed multiple times first. Each time she came out she had fewer and fewer clothes on until she was naked. Imagine putting on a show like that and getting ignored. Grandma, I know you're excited to be back on the market, but please try to behave yourself at Grandpa's wake. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, but distinctly remember being in the basement at a house party playing a game where everyone ends up naked. Door busted open and I'm looking at the boots of the town sheriff yelling for his daughter. Oh shitty. She can't find her pants. Help me find my pants. Full stop. A lady smoking a cigar with her butt. Someone did a bump of coke in the bathroom. Then took off all his clothes and ran around the house. The reason why the police were called was because this was at a 13-year-old's birthday party. Never hiring that magician again. We were at a house party and this drunk guy got on the roof. Everyone wanted him to jump into the pool, so he did. Breaks an ankle in the process when he missed. I am a golden god. Watched a girl drink a beer bottle full of piss. My friend thought it would be hilarious to piss in a bottle and put it in the fridge. A girl who was smashed picked it out the fridge and then drank some. She shouted, "This tastes like piss," then proceeded to take another sip. Never drink an open bottle of beer left in the fridge at a party, people. Edit. This tastes like piss. Sip. Yup. Definitely piss. Sip. But who would put a bottle of piss in the refrigerator? A guy and a girl full on F-King missionary style at a warehouse party. Dozens of people just walked by with barely a glance. A San Francisco. I saw a girl take out her tampon and use it to write hardcore on the wall. That's F-King hardcore. A girl was proud that she could fit a 1.25L Coke bottle in her vagina. Everyone was like, yeah. Cool. That's kind of weird to tell everyone, and everyone carries on. About 3 hours later everyone is F-ked up and the party is getting a bit weird. Some people had taken acid. Some had dropped some marcaps. Some were smoking weed. Standard stuff. This girl is off her face on Mdma and is adamant about wanting to show everyone how cavernous her vagina is. So she takes her skirt off and readied herself. Then proceeds to put a 1.25L Coke bottle halfway inside herself. Everyone was shocked but fascinated. She was so proud. She wasn't so proud the following week at school when everyone called her Cola Candice. Edit. A word. Someone changed a fuse while inebriated. That's just reckless. I was really drunk at a party once and the power went out. I went downstairs and saw a breaker had tripped, so I went to my car. Got my multimeter and figured out the breaker had shit the bed. People were getting ready to leave, but luckily I had an extra breaker in my car, so I fixed it and the party continued. Since I had saved the party, everyone was giving me drinks and drugs, so I ended up not remembering anything. When my friend told me that what I did and how drunk I was just glad I didn't kill myself. A girl blindfolded, tied down to a bench and sucking off whoever was standing in front of her while her girlfriend alternated between spanking and whipping her. Addendum. If this is SFW for you, please let me know where you work. It sounds fun. A few of us were sitting in a room smoking up when a drunk guy came running in. He looked at us, pulled his pants down and lit his pubes on fire while shouting "bushfire." Back in high school, friend had an open house and threw a party. Uncle came to check on us, and we found him smelling a girl's vomit in the bathroom and playing with himself. That's one F-ked up fetish. Niece. A guy shit his pants while trying to dance with a girl. He was beyond F-ked up and that defined the rest of his stay in career. Edit. This is from 2005 to 2006. We were stationed at Camp Casey. Then moved to Camp Castle right up the road. We were the main support battalion closest to the north. He wasn't nervous. Just couldn't not shit his pants when he got super wasted. This blew up pretty quickly for a shit your pants story. Thanks for letting me relive some great times I hadn't thought about in years. He's since moved to the north and wants to nuke everyone for making fun of him. Watched a guy lose at beer pong and get mad enough that he turned around and punched the first thing he could land his hand on, which turned out to be a window. In the movies, if you break a window, you don't get hurt. In real life, if you slam your fist through a window, the falling glass cuts you so deep you practically amputate your own hand. There was so much blood that we thought that was what happened. We thought he sliced his hand off. One of the sober partiers rushed him to the hospital while the rest of us just left because the scene involved so much blood and gore that none of us even wanted to party anymore. He ended up okay. As a nollie scar for the rest of his life. But at least he didn't actually lose his hand. I was at a college pool party with all my friends. But they invited some weird looking guys, but hey, They brought more food and drinks. We were all in the pool just having fun. It wasn't a really big pool. Maybe 15 MTS long tops. And then out of nowhere they started having sex there while we all were inside the pool. We all ran from the pool. Some girls were screaming. And they just kept doing it. I swear to God those guys didn't give a FCK at all. That's why you don't invite the McPoyles anywhere. Posted before but still NSFW NSFL. Darwin Award. Guy that I knew of in high school thought that because he was gangster he knew how to handle a gun. Grabs a revolver from the home and tries to cowboy gunslinger it by spinning it on his finger. He got 1 or 2 rotations in and bang 1. 38 round right to the empty space between the ears. Party died just as fast as he did. Oh, I got one. Junior year of high school. There was this huge circle made in the living room. So I made my way to the front to see what was up. My classmate was going at it with some chick missionary style. Everyone was filming it and cheering them on. He finished on her stomach and someone threw confetti in the air with everyone exclaiming for joy. Definitely in my top 10 WTF moments. Although I'll admit, watching it was a little hot. I was about 18 and at a friend's gathering party. Said friend's mum came home from her date drunk. Followed me into the bathroom and wrapped her hands around my dick and tried to go down on me. This would be like an ultimate fantasy if she was hot. But sadly not. Still not told him. That was the time a girl took off her pants and squatted onto a Smirnoff Ice bottle and proceeded to pleasure herself with it and pose for pictures. Ice. Saw some guy put a banana in the washing machine. Put it on a 40 spin and stir it whilst watching it. Don't do drugs. It's a threesome which involved an L which shortly became a gangbang until my friend sobered up and left the room. We all watched from the window due to the smell and it made the term swapsies take on a whole new term for the remainder of uni. It's more NSFL. But one time a guy threw a chair at a girl, hitting her directly in the face. There was a moment of shock and people ran to help her. But then everybody, including the women, seemed to lock eyes like we are going to FCK this guy up. He soon tripped and fell down the deck stairs 4 times. More NSFW. Saw a guy at a party in college beating off 2 guys and blowing one sitting in the middle. I let them have their privacy. And while I'm not personally gay, I did pause for a moment before I left. The coordination involved was impressive no matter what your sexuality. I'm at some meetup for PAX and we've got people from all over the country crammed into like 3 rooms. Some guy pissed himself. We kick him out. 2 dudes take turns railing some not very hot chick. The night goes on and things quiet down. Until like 4 AM when these dudes start talking about calling for a hooker. When I got home I'm pretty sure I had swine flu too. Swine flu? I saw the guy stick his big toe in a naked girl's vagina on a ping pong table. A midget getting a blowjob while standing on a couch. The chick was standing on the floor and the heights just worked out. Edit. Bonus story. We were all drinking in my buddy's basement about 21-22 years old at the time. When I walked up to go to sleep in his spare bedroom there was a baby sleeping next to the bed. Still not sure whose it was as I went to the couch and in the morning it was gone. A stripper whipping my boss with his own belt. I was 15. And this was a McDonald's staff party. Update. As I have a lot of replies asking for context clarification. The stripper was perfectly normal. Not Mayor McCheese or some other nightmarish Macca's character. This wasn't a strip club. It was held at an employee's house as the franchisee forbade us from using the store or hiring an actual venue. Some of the older guys booked her as it had been his birthday recently and he had just worked. We were all drinking. And as she was a private hire nobody got ID'd. Also, you can work at 14 where I live, Australia, and work is exactly what I did. I guess your boss was loving it. I've been waiting to share this disgusting story with Reddit. It'll probably be buried but even if I can make one person feel how I felt, I'll be pleased. I was at a party and this couple went into a bedroom to do their thing. No big deal. It happens. They come out and I notice this guy run into the room right after them and dig in the garbage. He fishes out their freshly used, still damp condom and takes it out to the main floor and gets everyone's attention. Then he shamelessly tips it back and dumps the entire contents in his mouth and swallows. The dude literally took a cum shot from a used condom in front of an entire party just to get a reaction out of everyone. For some reason he looks pleased with himself and everyone else looks absolutely disgusted. I've been trying to rationalize the action ever since I saw it. Also, the guy who owned the cum tried to fight him and was really pissed off about it. Someone broke it up and the party dispersed soon after. My girlfriend and I watched two guys FCK her best friend in a shower. It was just that kind of party. If your girlfriend's best friend wants to show you and your girlfriend something like this, I'm pretty sure you could put together a three-way. I wish I hadn't come into this so late. I threw a party at my house and a bunch of people from another school that I didn't know showed up. One guy came wearing a Hulk mask and those giant Hulk gloves. He ended up F-king this chick on my pool table, still wearing his outfit, chanting "Give it to the Hulk. Give it to the Hulk." Then new girlfriend invited me to a party at a hotel room. Lots of alcohol. Many of them had drugs. Sobriety has left the building. After most everyone had passed out, I was woken up by my GF as she was woken up by some guy trying to RP the girl he brought in her sleep. Didn't go so well for him. We have this monthly team party which goes after our office shifts. My super drunk colleague started sending dick pics to our team's Skype group conversation. All along he thought he was using the Messenger app. When I was still in college, I was at a sorority party with my then girlfriend. A woman, probably a freshman, was on the floor. Ass up. Pants and panties to her ankles. Funnel in her ass and people were pouring shots in her asshole. I was too high, drunk and stupid back then to realize that this could easily have killed her and I just left the room with my GF. Had this happened today, I definitely would have intervened. But back then I was just like, whoa dude. She lived. So it's all good. And that woman is now a state senator. What a career. When I was a sophomore in high school, a girl I know invited me to a party she was throwing at her house. In hindsight I realized she had a crush on me. In high school, I did not party at all, nor drink, but I was curious so I decided I would go. I get to this party and the eventual valedictorian of our class was dancing topless on a glass table, barefoot. A split second after I notice this, her weight causes the table to collapse and shatter. Since I was the only even remotely sober person at the party, I was tasked with dealing with the fallout. Thankfully, it was relatively tempered and the shards weren't particularly small or sharp. And she wasn't too badly injured. Edit. Well, this is by far my highest ever upvoted comment. To celebrate I had very spicy noodles. Wife and I hosted a few Halloween parties over the years. Nothing really scandalous. Just good times. One year had a girl fall down the stairs. House was a split level. It was like 6 stairs. And somehow turned it into a single-handed cartwheel. With beer in hand. She somehow landed it, leaving a bit of beer on the wall, a big dent in the ceiling from the heel of her shoe. I would have never believed it had I not been standing there talking to someone and seeing it actually happen. Then we had kids. And lost our fun factor. Edit. Friend's mom blowing a bunch of teens. Was at a party once with some guys I didn't know too well when Robbie Williams' rock DJ started playing. Within 20 seconds every dude in the place was butt naked swinging his dong around. Apparently it's some kind of lad thing that it's compulsory to, no matter where you are. A bunch of the guys decided to have a farting contest. One gambled and lost and shot a poo nugget at least 5 feet into some girl's lap that was sitting across from him. She ran out screaming like a banshee.